Hello folks, my name is Eric Wilkinson. Thanks for joining me today. Some of you very well may recognize me as the Wolfman from mainstream media, where I've talked about the economic data, the geopolitical environment, and how that all comes in to impact the markets with some of my market analysis. I do the same thing for you all in these daily market commentaries, but I go a little bit further and talk about these option strategies I'm putting into my portfolio based on the assumptions I come up with from my market analysis. And for you all, I've gone a bit further and streamlined that process for you folks to find the optimal option strategy for any given assumption. We don't pick option strategies out of the hat here. What we do is we follow a path to find the best strategy. If it's got high volatility, we look to the right. If it's got low volatility, we look to the left. So we're following this roadmap in order for you guys to find the best strategies. It will ultimately lead you down the path to finding that strategy that will fit your given assumption. So reach out to us at ProTrader Strategies to get that roadmap, if you will. All right, so without further ado, let's get on with the economic data, see what's going on in the markets, and then look at some things that we're playing around with things I'm playing around with in my portfolio, I should say. All right, across the pond, we got flash employment change coming in at 3%, expected to be 0.9%, so a little bit lower than expected there. Then we got the German zoo economic sentiment number. Anything above 0 is optimism. Anything below 0 is pessimism, I guess. But anyway, it came in at 71.2, expected to be 59.7, so really doing well on that number, knocking it out of the park. And then here in the United States, we got our Empire State Manufacturing number coming in at 12.2, expected to be 6.2. Now, yesterday obviously was a holiday here in the United States, but we didn't talk about what was going on over there. And the only thing that we got was the European industrial production number coming in at negative 1.6%, expected to be a negative 0.4%. So missing on that headline number there. But other than that, everything else came out pretty in line with expectations. And then we've got a couple of Fed governors speaking later on this afternoon. All right, let's get on with the overall markets. Crude oil touching 60 overnight. We were just below that now. Actually, we were just above that a second ago. Back into the 59 handle, thankfully. We can see gas prices moving up across the board anywhere. I think gas is up at least 50 cents a gallon around by me. But it does look like we might be finding a bit of a top here if we were to finish in this type of pattern today. I would wait for it to get confirmed to the downside because it just seems like a lot of strength in the crude oil market right now. We do have a couple of oil companies coming out with earnings later on this week as well, though, just as a side note. Bonds coming off again almost by 2 full points today. Again, just market falling out of bed. Somebody just yanked the sheet out or the rug out from underneath this market. As a matter of fact, 10-year yields 1.3, I think I saw the handle. That's the highest level we've seen in about a year. So interest rates rising. I think that's causing a little bit of weakness over in the equities as they are kind of in the same camp as I am. These interest rates are running up a little too fast for the type of economy that we're in. And obviously, not obviously, I shouldn't say that, but the fact of the matter is the levers and pulleys in economics is when interest rates start to rise, that causes people to pull back on spending. Now, interest rates aren't high enough really probably to make that thought process that we got to worry about that in the economy and in our trading as Rho, that fun Greek that nobody really talks about, will start coming back into the fold here. But the fact of the matter is rising interest rates giving a little bit of weakness to equities, as I think they're signaling a red flag with these higher interest rates right now. Gold futures trying to make a comeback after a big slide earlier today, found support right here just below 1800. But it looks like we've got a bit of a tweezer bottom here on these bounces. So I might even have to draw in another line in the sand here, kind of similar to this. Maybe I can just duplicate this drawing and slide it down to right around. I'm going to throw it right here. Actually, it's lining up quite nicely with the 1800 area, but fact of the matter is, let's just throw it right there, just slightly below where it's at now. So Gold futures trying to hold on back into the 1800 handle right now. Bitcoin, with the moves that Bitcoin's had, I'm really surprised that gold has not followed suit. But you can see here, first time Bitcoin trading in the 50,000 handle. That's the only reason really why I wanted to throw this out there. But a lot of companies are starting to follow suit with Elon Musk and adding Bitcoin to their portfolio and probably doing very well at this point in time. All right, VIX is coming back down into the 20s after last week. We were up into the 30s pretty easily last couple of weeks. Yeah, I guess this week we've kind of settled down a little bit. Seems like, with that stretching out of the market, inside day all last week really kind of has made people wonder if we're really going to make this move to the upside. Well, it might be the time to start putting on some protective puts in this low volatility environment. This would be the time to start adding protection when nobody else is worried about the downside. All right, so Dow Jones is up 60 points on the day. Overnight highs created or the highs were created overnight there. And in the NASDAQ as well, as you can see, up 16 on the day. All the charts look the same. E-mini S&Ps, you could probably block these out. They all just kind of are bleeding together. No real discernible top here. We definitely need to have a major confirmation on any of these markets in order to say we found a top, because the market keeps trudging to the upside. And as you can see, overnight highs created during the day session, pretty weak. The only thing that could really maybe turn around some of this weakness would be some strength in the bonds. I think that could give us a little bit of strength in the bonds, which would mean that interest rates are starting to go down. That would give some strength over here in the equities. But at this point in time, they don't seem like they really want to go anywhere. And like I said, with the volatility as low as it is, it could be the time to start adding some protection. Now, with that all being said, I haven't added or subtracted anything from my portfolio at this point, but look at the volatility spike in Gumble off of this big rally we've had the last few days. Now, you remember, I am long Gumble from quite some time ago, since it was trading below $5. Have had a very nice run. They have earnings coming out. I'm going to write it out. I think that this is the new wave of what kids are looking at. So keep in mind, it is an esports entertainment group that Gumble is. That being said, yes, that is part of their name. But that being said, they are into online gambling of these esports. So that could be very interesting to the younger crew that is getting involved in trading and in gambling at this point in time. And they very well are likely to migrate towards those esports. Since my kids watch those games all day long anyway, that's probably what they would rather gamble on. Not that they're old enough to, but going forward, more so than a football game, because to be quite honest, they don't even watch regular sports anymore. It doesn't seem like I would be used to. All right, well, that being said, just going to keep an eye on a couple of these, like Gumble coming out with earnings after the close. So does Devon Energy. I'm not going to probably play Devon. It's just the price on this stock just isn't enough to really support any type of options. And then AIG, I'm just going to stay away from with this one. All right, that's it. Those are the earnings that I would be keeping an eye on. I'm going to ride my Gumble through the earnings on this. I'm not going to probably throw anything out there other than, with that high volatility, could be a game time decision to sell some calls against my long position or something like that, just to lower some overall cost basis. We'll have to see how that goes. But check it out on Twitter, Wolfman's blog. That's where I usually throw out stuff that are late game time decisions online there, so that you guys can all follow along. All right, that's it. Other than, please take a moment to go over our disclaimer. We're an educational company, and there are risks involved in trading. So please take a moment to go over that. And if you can't take that, take it easy.